All right, what's going on YouTube, Instagram, and the internet space, wherever this may go? I go by the name of Marcus G, and you are now watching Just My Thoughts, episode 6. Got some game from my dad, and this right here is not my dad. This is not my dad. This is my boy Khyheem Finley.
What's going on, man?
My high school teammate, good friend, and he is not my financial professional, and I don't have life insurance through him, but he is a friend who has a lot of knowledge in that area, as that is his profession. So yeah, how's everything?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Kind of hyped me up a little bit. I mean, I'm not a super professional yet. You know, I'm still obviously even in life, you learn every day. You learn something new. So still learning with my occupation, still learning the ways, have a good mentorship, a lot of people in my circle to help me with this. But going as we going.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, I remember you from like athletics. So from athletics, football to rugby to now working in the financial field. How did that happen for you?
So long story short, like you said, playing football. I played football my whole life. I thought I was gonna go to the league and all that. Everybody had that league dream. Got into college. I graduated with a new media communications made degree, but then I kind of thought about what do I really want to do as far as in life. I want to say after college, I was doing a couple of like side jobs. I was working at Dave & Buster's. Then I actually got into claims auditing, as I was saying earlier, and it was kind of hard because it was actually during the pandemic. So once the pandemic hit, everything just died down. So I was doing that for a little bit. Kind of was okay, but didn't really like it too much as far as a career. I felt like there was no like real growth with that. And then, as I was saying, like I came out of college and I was like, what do I want to do with my life? A lot of people come out of college and don't really know what they're gonna do. So I was one of those people, and I was like, I want to help people. I didn't want to be a statistic. That was a big thing for me. I didn't want to be a statistic. I want to be productive in society, and I want to help people. I want to help my people. My culture. And I got a LinkedIn message from a recruiter for New York Life. They said, come aboard, we'll show you the ways. And like I said, I started last year in August, and then, just kept going with it. Didn't look back.
So, and I also got to commend you for coming in with a suit. I thought that was real dope, by the way. I said that to you, but I'm going to say it on camera. I think that was real dope that you came in with a suit.
I mean, you told me it was a live, podcast. So, I was like, oh, all right, I got to look somewhat presentable.
Dope. So, yeah, like, it's funny, interesting, because I got my big bro over there, and, I'm new to, like, all of this, like, life insurance, financial advice. It's not really my cup of tea. I'm coming to learn, you know what I mean? I've kind of accepted that, in time, like I'll learn and get better, but I do find like a lot of confidence having people that have that knowledge around me. So I guess what I've come to learn is like, that's not necessarily something I'm passionate about, but I have to do. I think it's dope that you're passionate about it, and I like that you said about like just helping people. Like where does that come from?
So I always had this like thought process of helping people, wanting to be kind and do right by others. I've seen a lot of people, especially during the pandemic. A lot of people have they've passed because COVID. A lot of people were dying. That was like one of the real wake up calls there. I always, you see, death and despair and stuff like that every day, but this kind of started hitting home. You started seeing a lot of friends, family members, getting sick, and I was just thinking to myself, like, I mean, granted, I'm not a doctor, but I want to help in some type of capacity, and you know, being a financial professional, life insurance agent, you know, that's some type of way to, you know, help people.
For sure.
And you know, I did it. You know, it's like I said, I'm still learning. You know, obviously, but you know, it's actually quite interesting once you really start to get into it. You know, but it's not really something that, you know, our peers really look at it. As far as like, I would say around the age group, you know, people don't really think about it. We're starting to get to that age where it's, you know, you should be thinking about it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's definitely an acquired taste, especially like in our culture. We don't, you know, a lot of people, we don't really talk about it. Like my parents didn't talk about it. My grandparents didn't talk about it. It wasn't only until I really got into this occupation in this field where you really start thinking about, you know, all aspects of life, you know, financially, you know, physically, spiritually, you know, it all has to be some type of balance.
Yeah.
And, you know, financially, on a financial aspect, you know, like I said, our culture don't talk about it. So this is something that, you know, I was really thinking to myself, I have to at least try to enlighten, you know, our people on what it is that we need to do as far as, you know, a financial aspect. And life insurance is a big way to do that.
For sure. No, yeah, definitely. I think, so for me, I actually just got life insurance going on, like I was telling you about, like 3 years ago. And I do have a financial advisor. Shout out to Gordon.
Shout out to Gordon.
Yeah, shout out to Gordon. But yeah, like I find, I guess because like I'm like real new to this world, I've also noticed that it's not something, the more and more I talk to my financial advisor, because he's younger than me, the more and more I talk to him, I realize like, man, like this is not really a part of my daily conversations or even like my daily thought. And once again, which is dope that I got my bro sitting over there, like him yesterday we were having an awesome conversation, and like he's just like blowing my mind with like percentages, and because he's a smart guy, he's good at math. But I just got to thinking like, man, like my peer group doesn't really think like long term like that, you know. I think we think long term, like we think like a year, but like, look, I've known you since like 16, 17, you know what I mean? Right. Like time is flying. So
boys are flying.
Yeah, time is flying. So yeah, like I think one thing I'd like to, you know, ask is how do you think we can introduce conversation like this on the regular to people in our age group, at least like to the point where it's just a consistent thing. Like I think in your friend group, like you should have people that are talking about these things and just preparing you for the long haul. So yeah, how do you think we go about that? Like how do you make that cool?
So I mean, to be honest with you, this is definitely something that should always be talked about. Not every day per se, but it definitely should be somewhere in the conversation throughout the week. You know, you want to check up on your friends, your family. You know, you want to ask them, you know, how you doing. I mean, you don't have to be like, you know,
crying in business.
Right.
You got money, man.
But you know, just ask them, you know, how you doing, or who's taking care of that stuff. Because, like I said, you know, this is tying down from like generations of you know, family members and friends just not talking about it.
Yeah.
So. You know, you can try to make it cool per se, but the best way I want to say is, you know, you get yourself a financial advisor, financial professional, such as myself or Gordon, you know, get my boy Gordon, and then you know you start it off. You start the conversation with a professional. You get what you have to get done first. You know, see what all aspects of what you need done as far as your financial stability. Get that done. After you get yourself situated, then you know you can bring it up to your friends, family members. You know, you talk one day. You know, ask them, you know, how you doing? How's you know, what do you see yourself doing in a couple of years? You know, I've had this conversation with my father. You know, he tells me, you know, like, do you with your friends? You know, you hang out with your friends. Everybody's cool and all that. You know, see where they are in 5 years. You know, you can really weed out, you know, what people are really doing with themselves. So to bring up another point about that, you know, having these conversations really bring out different type of people that you speak to. Like this literally having these kind of talks, you will literally start to see your friends group change. I mean, sometimes it's not a bad thing. You know, it's not always a bad thing. It could be a good thing. You know, you start talking to more people. You know, you start getting more influenced. You know, with learning about protecting yourself, your family. You know, even adding to your you know, your finances. You know, you start growing assets. You start learning about protecting assets. And then, honestly, eventually over time, then it starts becoming fun because now you start talking to people that are already having the same mindset as you.
For sure.
So now, you know, now it becomes a fun topic. You know? You start talking about other things and yeah.
And so as a financial professional, right, what is it that you offer or help people with on a day-to-day?
So on a day-to-day, what I do is I help, as I was saying before, I help people grow and protect assets. You know, I like to think that I can help somebody sleep better at night knowing that, you know, their family's protected. So there's 4 key ways of growing your assets. This is like the building your house. You know, you put the walls and stuff down, you know, paint a little bit. So there's qualified assets, non-qualified, business, and then, you know, real estate. So to break those down a little bit, real estate is something, you know, you own a home or you own renter's property, rent it out to businesses or other people that want to own a home. Qualified assets basically is the government's way of saying, you know, your tomorrow money. So this is stuff that you're building for 401ks, you know, retirement planning, 401ks, 403bs, things of that nature. Non-qualified is the opposite. That's, you know, the government's way of saying your today's money. So that's money that's in stocks, bonds, checkings accounts, savings account, money that you can liquidate right now and take out and use for stuff. And then the fourth one is a business. You know, that could be a, you know, a storefront, or nowadays a lot of people are using the internet. So a lot of people have online businesses.
Okay.
So, you know, this is what I do. I break that down, see where people are in their life. And then after that, now we talk about, you know, the protecting again. And then what you have, we basically put it together, formulate some type of illustration of what it would look like as far as putting money aside to make sure that all of this is protected and growing. And then from there, that's where we form that financial package for you.
Yeah.
Now, it could get a little more in depth depending on how advanced you are as far as your growing assets and then how far you're willing to put as far as money aside to protect it. Because this is something that, you know, you can't do this overnight. So obviously, you know, you gotta plan for the future and think of your long-term goals, and, you know, you gotta spend money.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, me personally, my company, you know, we don't hit you over the head, you know, with prices and stuff like that. You know, we fit it to your budget. We fit it to what's affordable for you and what you can do as an individual, because this stuff isn't cookie cutter. You know, this isn't one size fit all. You know, you get this because of your age and stuff, and you get this because of your age and where you're at. You know, we fit it to your needs.
Yeah, I think if anything has changed for me in like the past few years is my view on money. Like a lot of people, and I was taught this like a few years ago, just like developing a good relationship with money. And that's something that you know, I'm constantly trying to just refine that. You know, sometimes, you know, money coming in is good, and sometimes money going out is good. Sometimes money going out sucks. But knowing where it's going is the confidence booster.
Right.
You know? Why is it that people tend to shy away from like this topic, especially when it comes to like life insurance? And for me, I know that I didn't really start contemplating until my father brought it up, and he's been telling me about this stuff for years. But I guess watching him get older and knowing, you know, that he's not always gonna be there,
right,
you know, kind of got me like, oh man, like right. I need to do something to protect what I got a little bit that we made as a family and whatnot. So yeah, like why do you think these conversations don't happen amongst peers and family as often, or, you know, as much as they should?
Because like you said, I mean, that's something really hard to talk about. That's something deep, you know. You would, especially like your parents, you know, you would think as a young age your parents are gonna live forever. So this is something that, you know, a lot of people don't want to talk about because they don't want to deal with death. And I mean, it's something that you're gonna have to talk about.
Yeah.
As a family, you know. I was always told there's always two certain things in life: is taxes and death.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Why not, you know, get that stuff situated for when that time comes? And like I said, it's hard. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, and then when they want to talk about it,
it's too late.
It's way too late.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing, because that's something, you know, that's always on my mind, because you live life, and when you really reflect on it, it's like, man, this thing is like moving fast. It's moving too fast. You know, sometimes you want to take time back, but you can't do that. So, I guess, how can we, amongst friends, family, continue to, just make that prevalent in people's lives? Like, but that's always going to be my main thing, because I noticed when I got into, or just interested in keeping up with my finances and understanding it, getting life insurance, knowing where my money is going, having the beneficiary. Like, when I got into it, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is a whole other world. Like, it kind of makes going out to work for a few dollars like worth it, you know? And that's my main thing. So how can we, influence people to look more into it, or take it a bit more serious?
So like I said, it all starts with, you know, individuals. You got to make sure that you're in check. You got your stuff situated. Once you do that, then you can, you know, bring it up to your peers, family, friends, and let them know, like, listen, you know, I've done this. I feel like, you know, you should take a look at it as well. You know, hey, for all you know, some of your friends, family already have stuff situated. Some might not, and think they do. Yeah. But then that's when you bring up the conversation. But you have to make sure you get what you have situated first. And then, you know, certain people, you got to make it sound entertaining. So a lot of people that I speak to, you know, I let them know, like, even with like life insurance, you know, you want your money to work for you. You know, you don't want to go and get this paycheck and then, you know, you just dishing it out to all these bills or other things and then not realize, you know, where's this money? Where else is my money going? It's just going to bills, and then that's it. You know, with a whole life policy, you know, a lot of people don't know whole life basically is a policy, life insurance policy that you have for your whole life. A lot of people don't know that has cash value that grows alongside of it. That money you can use personally for yourself, tax-free.
Yeah, that stuff is the exciting part. Like, that's the only part.
Exactly. And you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. Man, I'm not gonna put my man's on camera, you know what I mean? But yeah, like when he's talking about, and this is growing here, and this is done. I'm just like, wow, like this is like really cool.
Right.
And that's like probably the only part that I know. And I think if people, like I just got a bank that I put some money in there, and I'm like, wow, interest. It's sitting there, and it's
a lot of people.
It's doing something,
right? It's doing something. A lot of people don't know that, and it's like you don't. People think, oh, I have a checkings and savings account, which is great, you know. But we're taught in schools, money, savings, checkings, banks. You're not really supposed to, you know. From what I've seen, you know, I'm not giving anybody advice. It's just but from what I've seen, from what I've witnessed. You know, you're not supposed to put your money in banks. You know, I was taught that, you know, we was taught that, but then, you know, after doing some research and actually, you know, working in the financial field, you know, that savings accounts and checkings accounts for when you have like automatic payments being taken out for a bill. You want to put your money somewhere where it can grow. You know, that's why a lot of people, you know, are starting to use these apps like Acorn and stuff like that. You know, or just, you know, investing in stocks and putting it in other avenues, other, sources of, buckets that will cause income to come in, income streams. You know, you don't want your money to just sit there, you know. So literally once you start once, like I said, you get yourself together, you explain it to other people, let them know, like, hey, listen, you know, I spoke to, you know, so-and-so and my money's growing. You know? I got money in different avenues and, you know, coming in.
So I got a good one with, and I've asked, I I asked Gordon. Shout out to Gordon again. No, I asked him, but I'm gonna ask you too, because mind you, I don't know anything about this stuff, and I don't know if I ever be like a real master at it. Because like I was telling you earlier, like numbers and all these things start to make me nervous. Like I wasn't a good test taker. I'm just like here. So like do you guys discuss or do you know about like when or if like the dollar goes away, cryptocurrency? Like how does that is there like talks or like does that transpire towards like life insurance? Does it equate or is there any like workings involved with that?
So my whole thing is like I said, for legal purposes, I'm not giving nobody advice. I'm not telling you to put your money in this and doing this.
Yeah.
I'm just telling people from what I've seen in my experiences and, you know, suggestions. If you want to do it, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as crypto, from what I've seen, I mean, it's like a one-hit wonder from what I'm looking at. You know, you hear this one new song from this new artist, and then you never hear from them again.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the stock market itself, hey, I mean, by all means, if you want, you could put money in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no problem with it, you know. But what I tell my clients is you don't want to put, like, for instance, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Because now you're at the mercy of the stock market, Wall Street. Great, yeah, you know, you put money in and it builds and accumulates interest on top of it, and you'll see big money coming out, you know, from it. It's great, but then there could be one week where the stock market, you know, is down. Everything is going down. You know, for instance, the stock market crash. You know, I believe what was that in 2008? You know, everybody, oh my God, my money. You know, now you're at the mercy of the stock market.
Yeah.
So what I tell people is, you know, like I said, you want different buckets to put your money in. So you could put a little bit of your money in stock markets, but that's not something that's permanent. Now, that's why I bring it back to like the foundation, a life insurance policy. That's something that's a little bit more permanent. You know, you put your money in that. You can start a business. You know, you put your money in, you know, real estate. Put your money in as far as a retirement plan. That's how you know, the more successful people use their money, and that's how they stay successful. You don't have your money in one bucket. You put it in different buckets and then let that accumulate over time.
So just forget crypto. No, I'm playing.
I was saying, listen, that's on you.
Don't say it. You know, it's funny because most people that I talk to, like you hear what you hear on the internet, right? But when I've spoken to people about that, they just have invested a few dollars. I think of people that I know, at least online, that are into like Bitcoin and all those things. They did it years ago, so perhaps they're up right now. I don't really know. But even shout out to Gordon, he said, you know, he's only put a few dollars in it, and it's like something that he referred to as like it's not proven yet. That's
there you go.
You know what I mean? And I think, and it's funny. So it's funny that you said you use words like more permanent, so yeah, that was like pretty much where I was going with the crypto thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, how you feeling? I think
I'm feeling great, honestly. I'm glad to be here. Obviously, you know, it's my first podcast, so I'm a little nervous. But no, I mean, it's a great convo. Honestly, like I said, it starts with, you know, conversations like this.
Yeah.
You know, especially for our peers, they don't have these conversations, so starts with us. You know, we talk about it. Now, hopefully, it can spark interest to other people. Now they're thinking, hey, okay, you know, he knows a little bit of something about crypto, or he knows something about finances. You know, maybe I need to look at mine, see about that.
Yeah.
And then that's one of my main goals. You know, a lot of people, you know, they have a why for what they're doing.
For sure.
And my why is to help, you know, my community and help, you know, just people in general understand and be aware of their finances and just their life situations. You know, you don't want to, honestly, I mean, I'm not knocking anything with people or, you know, GoFundMe, but, you know, I want to be the reason that, you know, God forbid something happens, you know, you could come to Khyheem and be like, all right, you know, at least we set up a plan so now that something happened, I can deliver that check to that family, the remaining family members. You know, I don't want to go to a funeral and see that, you know, there's a GoFundMe up for this person and knowing that I could have helped them.
Yeah, no, I feel that. That's dope.
Because, you know, I honestly don't want to, it leaves a burden for the rest of the family.
For sure.
You know, if you're starting GoFundMes, now everybody got to come out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you've done your planning earlier, boom, you know, God forbid something happens, the family has a check to pay off whatever they need to be paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And the family can, you know, use their money for whatever they need for daily living activities. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah. I think we're gonna have to have this conversation again when I'm more well versed. I mean, you're on your A game. You know what I mean? You got your I's dotted, T's crossed, and I think that last tidbit that you added is really, you know, that long-term thinking. Khyheem, it's been a pleasure.
likewise, brother, likewise.
Just my thoughts. I go by the name of Marcus G. This is Khyheem Finley. We'll put his information all along the video. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.